Welcome back, YouTubers. This is Sam's Automotive, bringing another episode of How DIY Your Car. Alright, today we got a 2003 Hyundai Sonata, and that goes for any Hyundai, guys. When you changing oxygen sensors, be careful, okay, to change the sensor. And what I mean, be careful, it's not about taking or putting in. It's on the sense of using the right sensor. Okay, I'm gonna tell you a little story in this car. This car I swap agent. I have another videos which I did a timing belt on this car. All right, so I want to do this car good. Put a little time to it. As you can see, I changed the valve cover, new catalyst converter, new sensors. So all this was done in this car to make sure that this car would run fine. Alright, so the first problem I have is I have in a code P0141, okay? P0141, it calls it for circuit in the O2 sensor, okay? So today I'm going to show you two things, okay? One of the first thing I'm going to show you is how to test the O2 sensor, alright? The second thing I'm going to show you is that putting a Bosch sensor in this thing would not fix the problem. Putting an aftermarket sensor is not going to fix the problem. So you either go Denso or you go the original equipment, which NTK. And as you can see here, I have original NTK. Part number is 25150. Okay, and this is what it goes on it. All right. Now, one thing that I wanted to point out is notice how the sensors they go. As you can see here, way down there, you're gonna have a gray connector. Okay, let's see if I can focus right down there. That connector right there. Okay, you'll see that's a white connector. The sensor is going to come with it. It's also going to have, if it's original, it's going to have a white connector. The other one is going to be a black connector like this one. Okay, the white connector is for lower O2 sensor, which is going to be bank 1, sensor 2, and the black sensor, which is going to be the top. This guy here, it's a black sensor. That's going to be bank 1, sensor 1. Okay. To change, I mean, other thing that I can show you is, or tell you so far, what do you expect in these wires, okay? The way I test this, these wires here, one, it has power. The other one is going to have nothing, because you can't read that. That's the signal for the computer. Then you're going to have a ground. And then the other one is going to be continuity. So I have one of those testers like a Power Probe, which I did test it out. But it's a little special tool that tells you the continuity from here down to the computer, which it points out 66 point something. All right. So mainly what you want to see in this connector, both of the connectors read out the same. What you want to find in this wire, it's a 12 volt at the ignition and a ground. Having those two tells you that the sensor, there is a sensor. I mean, I'm sorry, there is a fuse here in this box, and I'm gonna show you real quick. The fuse for this, I found it yesterday, and I believe it's one of these. Let me see if I can point out. Bradford. Let's see. I think it was a 9. If I'm not mistakenly. It was number 9, and yes, it was number 9. As you can see it right there, say O2 sensor 15, number 9. And if we look here careful in this box, the way this is going to read out is like this. Okay, this is how it's going to read out. So as you can see, you'll have one, 2, 3. Same thing here, 1, 2, 3, and it comes down. So as you can see, number 9, let's see, number 9, it's right there, okay? Okay, it's right here. Okay, so looking that in here, that's going to be the top here. Okay, I'm going to point out with this little thing here, right there. The one I'm touching, that's 15 on the top, right there. That's going to be 9. Okay, then you'll have it's right between these 4 relays. All right, so before changing this sensor, the first thing is check if that fuse is not blowing. That's going to be your first step. Once you verify that is good, then you'll come down here. Depending what you're working on, if you're working on the lower O2 sensor or maybe the front, I'm not sure what you're going to be working on. For this for this special case is P0141. Okay, so that's going to be for the lower sensor. Okay, for that one right there. All right. So you will disconnect that, and then you will check for a 12 volt and for a ground. All right. So I was stating is how to check the wiring down there. So again, I'm going to show you here something real quick. I'm going to see if I can get this in camera. Okay. Let's open this guy up. There you go. So what I want to show you here is something real quick. There you go. So here we go. So you want to do to check this sensor, if this sensor it's working 100%. You want to open these little tabs here. There is 1 here and there's 2 on this side here. Right there. Once you disconnect that, that's kind of hard with one hand. Let me see if I can. Just gonna put this real quick here so I can. All right. So there you go. Once you take the little tab here, as you expose the wires here. So as you notice here, there's going to be 4 wires here. It's going to be a gray wire, a black wire, and then at the top, on the bottom, is going to be 2 wires, 2 white wires. Okay. So there we go. All right. So what you want to test out here, as you notice here in this connector, there's a little, I don't know if you can see it right there. There is a little like notch there. You can look at it. See the other one, the other side is pretty smooth. All right. Where there is the notch, it usually tells you that's a 2 white wires. So these wires, you can test it. It's really easy to test this wire. Okay. So let's get ourselves here. From this case, you got P0141. Okay. First thing to check the fuse. Once you check the fuse is fine, you'll come out here to check the 12 volts and ground in the inside connector. Okay, inside, not the sensor, the inside. Okay. It doesn't matter which one you will touch. Again, you will put your, I don't know what you're going to be having, but if you check it for hot and like one of these, if you would, let's put this straight here. All right. I'm telling you this, guys, because it's going to be those beginners that never have used one of these sensors. I mean, one of these bolt meters. Okay, so very easy. When you're checking for ground on that sensor, what you want to do is you want to put this lead on the lead on the positive side. The other side, which is the black one, okay, is going to go in every single wire until you'll find here 0. You're going to find 0 something. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to demonstrate it here in this battery, which is going to be the same method. when you find the ground there. All right, so you come, you'll some of this power on by itself, but in this case we're gonna do it like this. All right, so we'll turn it on. This one will turn on just by just moving. It powers off by itself. So what you want to do is you want to go here to current volts right here. In this case, in your meter, it's going to say AC, DC. So you got AC and DC. So you want to go in AC, all right? Or in this case, it's going to be DC, okay? Direct current, okay? All right. So let's say you want to test the ground on that wire. You want to power this one on like that, all right? Then with the other lead, you're going to come and touch the ground. And pay attention what happened when I touch the ground. See that? That's going to read 0.2. Take it off. 1. Put it back on. Right there. See? You notice there what happened? So it's pretty much it's going to be 0 right there. See right there? Okay? Right there what you're going to have is that. See that minus they show there right there? Okay? Right there. You show a minus. Take it off. It's going to say minus 12. Okay? Minus 12.39. As you can see right there, we say minus, DC minus, right there. Okay. All right, that's checking your. Okay, that's checking your ground. Okay, again, minus 1240. All right, now that's checking your ground. Now we're gonna go the other way around, and this time it's gonna be this guy here. Now we're gonna check 12 volts. So to check 12 volts, we're gonna put the ground over here. Okay, that's to check the 12 volts. We're gonna put a ground here. All right, right in this battery, and then we'll touch the lead on the 12 volts. As you can see right there, it's gonna say 1239. Okay, 1239. Okay, right there. All right. $12.39. All right, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Just touch that. All right, so once we're verified that we have ground and 5 volts on the circuit, so you have verified already here what's the problem here. And this is going to point out only to the sensor. All right, so next step is going to be testing that O2 sensor. All right, so in this case, we'll move the voltmeter into continuity right there. You want to find not continuity. Well, you can find continuity if you want, which is going to be in your case is going to be that little beeping thing, like an arrow. The arrow, that's continuity. We have the mega. You see the mega? That's continuity. In this case, this voltmeter, it does it automatically. So what to do next to check if you have a bad sensor? Very easy. You will get the new one, right? And you will test the continuity in this thing to see what you get. In this case, the new one in this one is 6.2 ohms, all right? On the old one, I think it was a 6 something, right? Now, funniest thing is that my aftermarket one was reading 13.6 ohms, okay? And that's what the check engine was always appearing. So what it tells you is that sensor in the aftermarket, it's putting too much ohms, and that's what put the circuit on bad or whatever, high or low, whatever you get in there. With the new original one, you should get in about 6.2, 6.3. All right, so that's what I'm telling you guys. That's really important to change the original, or at least something that it gets close to it. All right. So what if you have a bad sensor? Well, it's very easy in this case. If you have a bad sensor, what you want to do in this sensor right here, you would have to check those two wires right here. If it's either in a lot of these sensors, I'm going to give you another tip here. This is for the Toyota, right? As you can see in the sensor, there is two black ones. Okay, right there. So you got two black ones, and this Hyundai is 2Y1. So that's what you always want to test. You either have a black, white, or black, whatever. But either way, you would have to like just test the circuit, and you eventually will get by pair. See, in this case, it's going to be, as I show you, there's going to be this notch right here. So what you want to do is you want to put your lead. You want to put your lead in one of the tester here. It doesn't matter what you do. You can put the red one and the white one. So bear with me. Let me see if I can get this on video. I'm gonna get everything set up. Again, I'm just gonna explain you how to do this. So pretty much what you want to do is, again, you want to put your multimeter. The multimeter, it's got to be in ohms or in continuity. All right. So when you test, you're gonna, in this case, it's a Hyundai and it's having two white ones. So you'll test it. You can put this one here, and the black one in the other side, and we should be getting some readings. So let me set up this, and I'm gonna show you what it's got to read here. Okay. So bear with me. Okay, there you go, guys. See, this is the setup I'm having here. As you can see, I have the blue one. I have the red in this side and the black in the other side. And this is what my readings are. 6.7 ohms, okay? So if you get that, then that means your O2 sensor is good, all right? In this case, I know this is a good sensor. The new one put up a 6.2, I believe. So you in the range there, so it's not big deal. So that's what I said. Check your new one first to see what ohms you got. So usually in this new one here, I check it. It had a 6.2. This old one here that I took out is a 6.6. Now the only reason why I'm not using this old one, knowing that it's good, is you see the threads? The threads are pretty bad. I tried to thread it in there, but it will not go because it's missing a piece of that thread. So that's what I ended up getting a new one. Actually, my first one that I got was a Bosch. I still get the check engine on. Then I got an aftermarket one. It looks exactly as the original, and it still got the check engine. So in this case, I decide to pull the old one and check the ohms. In this case, it's a, well, now it's going up, but I think because I'm moving this thing here. But it was a 6.2, 6.7. As you can see there, it's reading 6.8, but it's just go back and up. But I guess I'm kind of moving this thing a little bit. So I noticed that it had a 6.6 on this used one here. The aftermarket one, again, it was reading like 13 point something, was crazy reading. So the Bosch never took, I never read that, and I never put, I never took the red, I never read it, so I didn't know what it was. There you go. So so then for my case here, trying to figure out what the hell was wrong with this thing, put in a Bosch one, the check engine was still on. Then I went cheap with the aftermarket one and still got the check engine on. And I said, wait, something's going on here. So I decided getting a new one, original NTK, which wasn't that expensive, guys. It was like $50. It was actually $30 cheaper than the Bosch, and it's still the check engine was on. So I put the NTK. The NTK again was a 6.2. The original was 6.6. So I just put it in, and guess what? Check engine just went off. So now, so that was the one thing checking here, guys. Now I'm gonna show you something real here. So you'll have again. So the way to check in this O2 sensor is checking the two black one for continuity or the ohms. All right, If you don't get continuity, you don't get ohms, that sensor is bad. In this case, I can go here and I can change this to like there. There's my continuity. That's how you know there is continuity. You hear that beeping? That beeping right there tells you have continuity in this thing. If you don't hear that, you see that sign and say continuity, you don't get that beeping, okay? So let's see if I can, there, see that? There, so nothing happened there because I disconnected. So if I would have to test any other one, like I say, this guy here, this is from a Toyota. So I would, in this case, I will test the two black ones. And I'll put this real quick here and see if it's good enough to test this one. There you go. So I'm going to test this one real quick, the two black ones, and then I'll touch, let's see, touch the black ones here and the red one here, and there we go. You guys hear that? There you go. See that this sensor I changed it because it was bad, and I just noticed that the continuity goes out. So it doesn't have a firm continuity on it like it should work the whole time. So there we go, guys. So in this guys, look, see that the sensor reading 3.3. So I wonder what was the new one, original from Denso. But there you go. So what you want to do is you want to test these two leads, the two black ones or two white ones. All right. So that concludes this video, guys. Hope you have fun doing this experiment here to find out if you have an O2 sensor. Again, so let's preview this. First step, number 9 in the box here. Did it say O2 sensor on it? That's how it's labeled. Some of them are labeled as O sensor 1 or sensor 2, or pretty much just O2 sensor. The second thing is going down there, find a hot and a ground. The other two you can check it out, but that's going to be continuity if you want to know if you have a broken wire from that signal. So look for the signal one. And the other one is pretty much just a feedback to turn on that heater. So that makes by the computer put in that 12 volts to it. Okay, so that will make the heater to work. All right, so that was it, guys. But like again, once you find out that you have a ground and you have a 12 volt cell, you have checked your continuity, and also you can monitor by the computer, see if the computer is turning on the heater. So you'll find that as a feedback, and then put a tester on it, and you wait for the engine to get hotter, and then eventually you'll see the power is going to throw on. So the light is going to go on in the tester. That tells you that the computer is actually doing the job. All right, but in this case, it's a high put electricity, and that's what it makes it really hard to diagnose these issues here. But I already show you how to do this. Like I say, if you have a sensor with 4 wires, what you want to do is, again, check the black or the white. And how you would check that? With the ohms. Check the reading on the ohms. Now, again, make sure, guys, to get the right sensor, because like I say, I got an aftermarket one that put the check engine on. They resolved the issue. I checked the ohms in that. It was 13 volts. The original is put in 6.6. The old one is put in 6.6, I think what you saw, guys, there. The new one was put in 6.2. So there, so pretty much, guys, you will be fighting here with the check engine forever if you guys don't check the various specifications. Sometimes it's not just putting a new O2 sensor there and you'll just cross your fingers, ask God for help, and it'll be like, okay, problem resolved. Sometimes you got beyond, you have to go beyond just putting an O2 sensor. Again, I'm just keeping pointing out here and keep telling you guys, put the original sensor in that car, and I guess you guys will be safe. Okay, do not go with the aftermarket one. If the car is not equipped with the Bosch, do not put a Bosch. Okay, Myself here, I have an issue with this car. I put a Bosch, check engine was still on, and I'm giving the right info on this car to the auto parts, and cheap one, say it supposedly was a Bosch, cost me $80. For this sensor here is only $50, the original one NTK, and that just resolved my issue. But my issue was trying to figure out why it was a high output on the sensor. What happened? What's going on here? What is the computer? Is the fuse? Is what it is? So that's why I'm making this video, guys, to help you, how to resolve this issue. If you have any Asian car, you can go with Denso or you can go with NTK. Keep away from Bosch. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just the Bosch is more made for German cars. I mean, if you have an Audi, Mercedes, any car that is German, put a Bosch, because maybe if you put an NTK, you put another one of these other sensors, it probably is going to be a problem, because as I point out, that most of the Asian cars always use either NTK or a Denso. See, for instance, in this case, this is a Toyota sensor. I put a Bosch, and guess what? The check engine never went away until I came and find an original Denso sensor on it, and boom, that light just went off by miracle. Same thing in this car here. I pulled this old one. I didn't put it on because the thread is so messed up, so I could not put it in. But I can bet you guys, if I would have put this original sensor in that car with the good threads, this engine should have just gone away right away, because the ohms actually match what the criteria is for that check engine in this vehicle. All right, guys? Well, God bless you. If you have any questions, let me know. Thumbs up, subscribe, please. I'll do all this for you guys. All right? Again, God bless you. Have a great day.